crafts. So we are going to get started on day number 7 or 8. I'm sorry. We are on day 8 of our 12-day advent calendar. So again, so this video I'm pre-recording just because I have a sick family member, and that way I'm sure to get through this. So just to reiterate what we've already created, let me just share with you guys. So this was our day 1 card. So you can see we progressively get a little more, right? This was day 2. And then we had day 3. This was day 4. Day 5. Day 6. I love this. And day 7. And this one, I think I just accidentally untied the bow just a tad there. So we got some new dies yesterday. All right, so we are on day 8. So let's go ahead and open that up. It's getting easier, as I stated before, because we have kind of more things to play with. And, you know, we kind of have some idea, right, of what we're working with. So it gives us an opportunity to kind of get ahead a little bit. All right. Oh, look at this. Oh, you know, it's funny. Every time I look in one of these little containers, I am surprised by what I am finding, because it's not what I had thought. You know, I keep thinking, oh, ribbon, which now that I'm looking at this, I'm wondering if there's ribbon in here. Because the little bow, I don't know. We'll see. But this is some twine, and it looks like it's the Pretty in Pink and a navy. Oh, very exciting. Okay, exciting stuff. So we're going to use that. Now, that is going to be interesting, because one of the colors that I think I want to use is this shaded spruce. I was looking through all the cards I just showed you guys, and we have blues and pinks and some orange and purple, but I thought we don't have like green. And I know we did Regals, I guess it was the day, day 6. But I think I want to do Regals again, because I want to use greens. It's kind of where I landed. So, and I'm looking at these threads, and I'm thinking, well, that blue goes. I think we can use it, right? Because we have to use what we just recently received. So let's go ahead and we'll take this piece here, and we are going to score it at 4 1/4. And since we just did that other kind of fun fold, we'll just stick with a regular card base. And the other thing I wanted to use was potentially this piece here. I liked just that pattern leaf. So that was one thing I'm thinking that we're going to use. I pulled one of these in with a gold tip on the end. This came from our set of labels that we got. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I get things like this, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to use them all. And so you put them away, and then you don't use them. So I wanted to make sure that I really incorporated these into our cards, because I haven't done too many. Then the other thing I did ahead of time, knowing that I was going to go with greens, is I went ahead and stamped several of these 2 flowers from our stamp set. And then I put this one, the spot there in the middle of them. So I stamped them in garden green, shaded spruce, and old olive. So you can see there are multiple colors. And then I stamped them on soft sea foam and on white. The other thing I did was I used Versamark for the center, and then I embossed it in gold powder. So we'll see if we kind of use these, I guess. But I was just trying to think of a way that maybe we could incorporate all of these flowers, not all of them, but use them in our card. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of get started here. So I think we're going to make this our card base, and then I said we're going to use Old Olive, right? And the shaded spruce. So I think I want to layer. I'm really loving this two-colored kind of layered look. So let's see. I think, let me look at the soft sea foam. Maybe we'll use that color. Yeah, let's do the soft sea foam. We'll do soft sea foam. And then, yeah, we'll do that. Little by little, right? We'll figure it out. So we're going to take this piece of soft sea foam and we are going to cut it at, and you know what? Let's make it, because we want it to look a little different. So let's take a 1/2 inch off each side. So we will do 3 3/4 by 5. So basically we're just taking a 1/2 inch. So we're just going to have a little bit bigger margin around the edge of our card. So again, just a different look since we're using a different color. And I love that. I love that shaded spruce. Okay, so then let's take, and we're just going to kind of do a kind of a box look here in the middle of our card. So I think we'll do 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. Now I have a piece here that I've already, so let me make sure this is, nope, I don't think I, oh, well, let's see. Yeah, this will be 3 3/4 right here. So let's do this. We're going to cut it. I have a piece here that already has score lines on it, so I'm kind of working my way around that. Okay. So we have 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And this is going to be just kind of a, we'll just make this a little bit of a center piece. And actually, I think I'm going to take that down to 3 1/2 here. Let's see what that looks like. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to take it down. Nope, that's good. Okay. Oops. So we're going to kind of make this, we're going to make our card open this way. And we're just going to kind of move this over to that side of our card. And then let's take a piece of, let me measure this again so I can make sure I have the right. So we have 2 3/4. Yeah, by, oh, we have 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to make it 2 1/2. All right, sorry. I'm doing a lot of cutting here. All right, I think I like that better. So 2 1/2 by 2 3/4. So we are going to cut a piece that is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And we're going to put that right here. And I think what I'm going to do is use, so let me see here how I want to do it. If I want to put this on and then put this, nope. So we're going to cut this into 2, and actually we will do 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. Okay. So just under that 1/2 inch. And I am going to put this at the top of this piece. Get my branches going the right way. And we're going to put that right there. And then that is going to literally sit right here on our card. And then what I wanted to do was take, and we'll get this out of the way here for just a moment. We have this gold piece, and I wanted to put it right here. And this is what we're going to stamp our sentiment on. So I have to cut this down as well to 2. Oops, let me get this on the, sorry guys, this on. So this right here is what I'm going to put. And then we'll stamp our sentiment here. And then our flowers will kind of start here. And then they'll kind of roll off the side a little bit. So we're just going to create this kind of nice cluster there. And then we have to find a way to incorporate our pretty blue ribbon. I don't know. You guys, you know what I might do? I think I know. All right, so I know we're going to use blue. And that's going to add, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a blue, and I think we will mix it with some of the, this is like one of those, okay? So if you guys watch Chopped, we've talked about it a little bit. This is where they make something and they like crush it up and cover it with a whole bunch of other things so you can barely tell that they put this ingredient in their cooking. I feel like that's what we're doing. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to take some of that blue, mix it with some gold, and we're going to get a really pretty bow that will wrap around this whole piece. And then we'll put this up on dimensionals. All right, there we go. We have an idea. Okay, so let's start adhering things where they go. So we'll start by putting this piece down on our piece of on our card base. Okay. When you it was interesting, you know, a lot of times I don't do a ton of embossing, like heat embossing, and I don't because, but you know, I don't really have a spot that I keep it set up, which if you are able to do that, I highly encourage you to, because it's going to be so much easier for you to walk over, emboss something, and go right back. I do keep my embossing machine out so that I can dry emboss, you know, use an embossing folder. And that is really nice. And I think that when you have those things out, it's so much easier for you to use them. Now, there's a point, right, of, you know, you can't have clutter. So we don't want clutter, but there is a point of having that nicely available for you. Anyhow, so to do these flowers, I literally stamped them. I did get out the tool, but I did a whole bunch of them, as you can see. So I'm not going to use them all here, but what I can do then is take them and store them in, what I would probably store them in is with the stamp set, because then you can just, the next time you're in there, you can pull them out the next time you want to make a card. Or if you have like a place that you just keep things that you die cut, you could store them in with your colored paper if you prefer to do that, like your cardstock, or you know, maybe just something that you keep embellishments in. All right, now I'm going to stamp the greeting because I want to adhere it on here, and then I want to wrap the twine around here, and then I'll put my flowers on. So I know this is going to be 2 3/8, right? Because this was 2 3/8. So let's cut this down to 2 3/8. So we'll bring in our paper trimmer again. And I'm going to put this right at 2 3/8. And we'll just trim that little spot off right there. And now we can find a greeting that fits on that particular spot. So we have all kinds of things. I think I'm going to do Thinking of You, because I'm pretty sure that will fit very nicely on here. And we'll just double check. That is perfect right there. Looks very nice. All right, so we're going to grab our stamp, and I think we will stamp this in Shaded Spruce. Now, again, if I had all my embossing stuff out, I probably would maybe stamp it in Versamark and then go ahead and do it, put it in gold. But this will be nice. We'll just use Shaded Spruce. I think that's going to look super nice. So we've done a lot of kind of monochromatic cards, I have to say. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna just stamp that right in the middle there. Ah, beautiful. All right, and being neat stampers, we'll clean that right up. Okay. Okay, here we go. And we're going to go ahead and put that right down. And I'm going to go ahead and just adhere it directly since we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. If I was going to glue this whole piece down, I would probably pop up my sentiment on dimensionals. But because we're gonna do this whole area, we'll leave it like this. Okay. And we'll just center that up. There we go. Okay. So now what's next is to take our two pieces of twine here. And I want to make sure I have enough to wrap around. So let me go ahead and get that down like that. And we will wrap this side around once, and then we will take this side and we'll wrap it around. So we get a really nice kind of border there. And then I'll take this end here and I'm just going to wrap it right underneath both sides there. Okay. And there we have it. And I'm going to just tie a nice bow. Now you guys could do a knot, you know, whatever you would like, right? And I'm just going to tie it just a little bit more tight so that it stays in position there. And then I'm just going to move them out just a little bit. And now I will cut this side here. Give it a little bit of a tail because that makes it look, I don't know, you know, anymore. I used to always like them nice and just very short tails. And now I'm really liking those bigger bows. And I think it gives it just a little bit more of an elegant look. Okay, now we're going to take the back and we're going to put our dimensionals on. And, you know, outside of cardstock, you guys, when we started, right, we didn't have any designer series paper that we had in our kit until like day 2. So we had to use kind of what we had. I was trying to put that on there to make it stick. I think we'll be fine. We'll just put it there just in case. Okay, and we'll take all these off and go from there. So here in Michigan, we have gotten snow. We got snow this last night or this morning. All right, now I'm just going to put this just a little off to more toward the left side of the card. But I do want to make sure that it's even across the top and the bottom. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is take all these pretty flowers that we have, and I'm just going to decorate the front. So I want to look and see kind of what might look good. So I know I'm going to put one here, and then I'm just going to start to not stack them, but just get different colors together and see what that looks like. I will tell you guys too, when I did these flowers, I did not, normally when you emboss, you know, you use your embossing buddy. I did not do that because I didn't mind if there was some gold that kind of, now what I don't want to do is to take away too much from this being our centerpiece. So I might do something a little different in that I might do a piece. Let's just look and see here. Yeah, so I think we'll start with this one here, and we'll adhere it all the way down. And put that kind of right there like this. And then this one I think will pop up on a few dimensionals here. Okay. Oh, I won't do that one yet because you know why? It's the same color. So we don't want to do that. So let's take maybe one. Maybe we'll put one right here, because the reason I say that is I don't have another one that is this color. So I'm going to do this bigger one here, and I'm going to put a little adhesive right here, and then I'm going to put a dimensional on this side, all right? Because this part's going to hang off, and the rest of it is going to get adhered via glue right here. Oops, I want it to go just a little bit more because it's going to be off the edge. There we go. Now we can take some of these other pieces here and maybe put those. I'm just trying to think. I was trying to make it so they weren't right next to each other. So I think we'll do it just like that, I guess, because they are somewhat different. So we'll put this one here on some dimensionals as well. And that will be it. So we'll put one here. Oops. And then there we go. All right. And now let's take some of those gold sparkly pieces that we got, because we kind of have some sparkle in our ribbon, some sparkles here, and we'll just dab a few of those. We'll get some glue dots out. And so those were in day number 3. Remember these guys? Let's add a couple of those to our card. And that will look, I think, really, really nice. So, got 3 of them there. We'll get our glue dots out, because if you remember last time, using the glue itself, that seemed to be, now I think if I would have probably rubbed it on like a table or something, I think it would have been a little bit easier. But in this case, we're just going to put those right on top of glue dots. And I think that is going to give us a really nice adhesive for these. Now this one you can see is much smaller than the other 2. So this one will kind of just curl some of that glue right up underneath our element, and that will make it so it is not so big. So there we go. So we'll just push these down pretty good. And we'll grab or take your pick tool and lift those right up. And I think we'll just scatter, just kind of scatter these out in various parts of our card. And I think that is going to look beautiful. So when I pick this up, I'm just going to get a little bit of that glue off to the side. I think I'll put one right down there. And then we have this smaller one. And I think I will move it up by the bigger one over here. And we'll just kind of set that off to the side. Oops. And there we go. All right, what do you guys think? You'll have to tell me in the comments. Let's go ahead and put a piece of white cardstock inside, and that way finish it off. Sometimes I'm good about that, sometimes I am not. But let's see if we can find, if we have a piece of white over here. Otherwise, I may have to hold off on that. Oops. Let's see if I have. I thought I did, guys. Hold on. Let's see here. I think we do. Nope, we don't. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of white in there, and then I am actually going to take one of these flowers and we are going to put it right in the corner of that piece of white cardstock. Okay, let me just look one more time and see if I can. I have a little pile here, and I thought I had a nice piece of white cardstock, but I think I've used it all. So let me see. Oh, I think I found some. Yes. Hold on. Right here we go. I've got some over here that we can pull from. Yep, we do. So let me grab. We're not going to choose a lot, right? We're just going to take this and we'll make it about 4 inches across the top. And oops, here we go. All right, you guys. That was a lot of movement. All right. This will give us a nice writing spot, and then we can decorate it too with these flowers. So let's go ahead and we'll pop this right in the middle of our card. Again, you do these pieces that are 2 3/4 by 4, I think, or 4 1/4. You can get 8, I think 8 of them. I keep saying 8. I don't know if it's 8 or not. Okay, so let's see. We can do, like, we could do a big one and a small one. Do something like that. I don't know, actually. I think I might like that bigger one right there. Yep, I think so. All right, so we'll just make sure we adhere this down. And that will give us a beautiful look to the side of our card right there. All right, guys. What do you think? All right, I like it. And there you go, card number 8. Very pretty, nice and shimmery. I love the greens. This one looks different than a lot of the other cards that we've made. So you guys will have to tell me again in the comments if you have a new favorite yet, or if you have one that you still like better. All right, you guys, we will see you tomorrow for card number 9. All right, bye now.